The rabbit hole that is the story of TwilightGD, or PolarisGD now, is something that I would not wish upon many people. This is the story of lies, manipulation, and the actions of a narcissist. In this video, I plan on taking you through as much of the story as I was able to pull together. This all occurred over the course of about a year at this point, so some screenshots or voice calls are lost to time. For those who are unaware, TwilightGD is a Geometry Dash YouTuber who also had their roots in Friday Night Funkin' content. This individual was at one point a good friend of ours, but we decided to cut ties with them due to their frequent manipulative behavior and overall unkind attitude towards us. This individual has been given plenty of opportunities to improve themselves and correct their behavior, but they have instead chosen to continue down this path. And for this reason, I've decided to create this video, to bring to light the truth of TwilightGD. Before we begin talking about what he has done, here's a table of contents of what you can expect in this video. His actions become worse and worse as the video continues, so I highly recommend that you stay to the end of the video. Lastly, a content warning. This video contains talk about suicide, so if you are not comfortable with that topic, here is the timestamp for you to skip past. To begin, I would like to highlight one of the larger incidents that occurred in this story. The deletion of the first Bonksquad YouTube channel and the Discord server, the Twilight Zone. This occurred on the 4th of June 2023. Tensions were high during this time as Twilight had recently been doxxed by a former member of the server, who I will leave anonymous for their own privacy. This individual had already been banned from the server prior to this incident, and his actions are not condoned by anyone in the group whatsoever. Twilight, earlier in the week, said some fairly distasteful things which led to the quote grandpa incident, which will later be explained in more detail. Twilight was not very happy with a decent chunk of the group not being as mad about him being doxxed as he had hoped they would be. He was called out for being a hypocrite, as another member of the group was also going through a tough time as this was occurring, and Twilight was the opposite of sympathetic throughout it. In retaliation, Twilight left the call and began to rant in my Twitch chat for about 15 minutes. We continued to all call him out for his hypocrisy, which led to him saying that he was going to delete the Twilight Zone, the Discord server we frequently called in. We didn't believe him at first, however he did follow through. Later on as well, he deleted the group YouTube channel, the Bonksquad. I bring this up because it not only deleted weeks worth of videos that the group had made, but also deleted some of the only evidence we have of certain accusations against him. The only proof we have at this point of some things is the recounts of members who were close to him at these times. The next incident I would like to highlight is his history with hacking levels. I was not around when this incident occurred, so instead, I'm going to be showing you a snippet of an interview I did with a member of the group named Seb.
So basically what happened is that Fix and I met Twilight in December of 2022, around that time, and I think he was going for BS's first medium demon. So he kept progressing, and like kind of afterwards, after that time, Hydro joined the server, and Hydro was going for his first medium demon Verity. Twilight then beat the level in Call right in front of Hydro, basically right in front of his face, and then he later confessed that he had actually hacked Verity. Now there's like, I don't know, sniping's kind of a mixed bag, but like lots of people have different opinions on it. But I would say that like beating a level right in front of someone else to show that you're better than them is not too cool. And on top of that, he also hacked it, so that's just a whole nother level. Same thing happened with Akon, who also joined the server afterwards. Akon beat Crazy by DavJT, and it took him a pretty long time to do that. Twilight beat Crazy afterwards, and he only beat it in 2 days, which was a lot less of a time, obviously. And he was just bragging about it. He's like, oh, you beat it in such a long time, and it only took him 2 days. But he also later confessed that he also hacked that level, so it's almost the exact same situation. Also, he confessed to hacking a lot of other levels, such as Safari and Deep, the Easy Demon, a few others as well that I can't really remember off the top of my head.
At the time of writing this script, Twilight's HARASS is Blade of Justice. Now, Twilight has a tad bit of history when it comes to this level. There isn't a ton, but when checking his sent messages and servers we had in common, I found that he posted in the Demonless public server on the 18th of November, stating this. Now, upon finding this, I proceeded to speak with him in direct messages about the level, where we had the following conversation. You can clearly see here that he says that he had 23 from 0 along with a few runs, which is an immediate contradiction. Along with this, we found a few instances on his Twitter account where he mentioned that his HARASS was supposedly Blade of Justice. Next, I would like to highlight his fixation with people's legal name. When talking with people, Twilight will frequently use a person's legal first name when talking to them. This is continuous even after he is asked by that person not to. I will show examples, but I will be blocking people's actual name out to protect their privacy. He does this in both DMs and in voice calls. His reasoning for this is still unknown to me. Twilight has a tendency to go through a, quote, black PFP phase for various reasons. Whether it be we got on his case about something, or maybe he was just the butt of the joke at that time. He frequently will set his nickname to something along the lines of a single period, set a black PFP, and frequently block a few members of the group. These would usually last about 2 to 4 days, and then his account would be right back to normal. In conjunction with these, Twilight would semi-frequently make suicide threats. The Fireball incident occurred in a VC on the 30th of December 2023. Two members of the voice call, who wished to remain anonymous, were heavily under the influence of marijuana. This, eventually, prompted Twilight to say that he, quote, had some shots of Fireball downstairs, and that he had the intention to go drink them. Twilight went silent for around 5 minutes, and then came back acting in an odd manner. It was clear that Twilight was attempting to act as though he was drunk, presumably to fit in with the other people. He was later confronted about this in the same call, and he denied it all. Some mean stuff was said back and forth between both parties in this call, and it ended with Twilight getting a bit heated and leaving the call. He posted this on Twitter after he left. The next morning, two of the members of the call received a copy and pasted apology from Twilight that barely apologizes for anything, but also doesn't even apply, as one of the members of the call he sent it to was completely sober during the call. The $100 incident dates back quite a while, to around June. Twilight hosted a last to leave VC event within the Bonksquad and promised a prize of $100. The winner of this ended up being JDHV. Now, it was not for many months that Twilight actually paid up. It felt as if Twilight was consistently trying to worm his way out of paying up, claiming things such as his parents wouldn't allow him to send the money, or that JDHV didn't deserve it. It was a constant battle for about 5 to 6 months until August, where they eventually settled on Twilight purchasing a roughly $40 to $50 microphone for JDHV. Twilight's presence on Twitter is quite interesting to say the least. Twilight posts anywhere from 1 to sometimes 7 tweets in a day, and trying to wrap my head around what some of them mean is a bit hard. Sometimes he will go on Twitter and at various large creators or people to attempt to get their attention. Along with this, just a day ago from the time of writing this section of script, being February 4th, he posted these 2 tweets as well. I'm unsure of why exactly he posted these or what could have set him off. To add on to this point, I asked him to unblock me on Twitter while he was in my Twitch chat one day, and he deleted the tweet, but not the reply he made to it, so we can still see that he sent it in the first place. Another odd aspect of his Twitter presence we came across is how he will go after various people for seemingly no reason. As far as I was able to find, many of these tweets are seemingly unprovoked, and I'm not sure why he felt the need to go out of his way to say some of these things. He likes to throw around some of these things like doxing or bullying someone into suicide, which to me is concerning because I feel that, again, he of all people should know what that feels like. Whether these are real threats or not, I don't believe that they are okay to say given the big picture. Twilight has a tendency to play the victim and overall be manipulative towards those around him. We take a look here at this Twitter post from December 31st, 2023. He claims that he deleted his YouTube channel of over 100k plus views, but that is far from the truth. His channel was never deleted. Next, I found this message from Twilight that he sent in both my DMs as well as the server we both were in. He mentions that he's going to be gone from about 2 weeks to 2 months and that he won't be responding to messages during that time. And yet despite this, the next 4 days after he sent that message, he initiated a conversation with me in DMs, talking about various things. Lastly, I'd like to bring your attention to this community post from him. This was posted on the 1st of January 2024. This entire community post is chock full of manipulative speech pattern, using phrases like, ruin my mentality, just for them to fail or get hated on. So I'm done if it's what people want, whatever, goodbye. He wants people to feel bad for him and to validate his feelings, and he has shown to us many times that he will do whatever it takes to get that. When it comes to this event, I do not remember well what exactly happened, so I will be reading a statement from an anonymous source who knows more about the topic than I do. I'm not sure if he intended to directly dox JDHV, but since he did buy the microphone for him, they had each other's addresses, and because of this, Twilight would throw around the fact that he had his address for various reasons. For example, if he was mad at JDHV for some reason. Now, while no real doxing occurred, I still believe that threatening to dox someone is bad enough as it is. Twilight had been doxed himself, so I believe that he of all people should know how bad of a situation that is. The Grandpa incident is another incident I personally was not around for, so I will be again showing you a snippet from my interview with Seb, as he was personally affected by this.
Grandpa situation was a time of my life where I wasn't in a great mental state. One morning, my grandpa wasn't waking up, so the paramedics rushed in and they had to take him to the hospital. He hadn't been doing that well for a pretty long time before then. Like, he was probably wheelchair bound for about a year due to Parkinson's. I was explaining to people online that my mental state wasn't the best because my grandpa was hospitalized and that it was pretty serious. But Twilight kind of brushed it off when I told him about it, and he also got pretty annoyed when I brought it up. So I felt kind of offended by that he barely had any sympathy for my situation, and he always expects sympathy from others, so I don't know, I felt kind of annoyed by that, and I brought it up more often. But eventually he got pretty annoyed and just told me to, with these exact words, stop with the grandpa thing. This was right before got doxed, like almost the same day, I think. And he was shocked that people weren't really giving him the sympathy for him getting doxed. Not as much as, or almost the same way that he didn't give me any sympathy for my grandfather, because I was telling people about the situation, and he got pretty angry about that. And that's what basically led him to delete the shared YouTube channel that a lot of other people had worked on. And then he, later on in the day, he said that he said in Stuff's Twitch chat that he hoped that my grandpa died. So that's how the situation ended. And as of now, a few months ago in February, my grandfather did pass away. He had been pretty much in a coma-like state, kind of bedridden ever since that situation, so.
During a call on the 15th of December, along with in a few people's DMs, Twilight stated that he had been making thumbnails recently. Along with that, he sent a few thumbnails claiming that he had made them. I will show them on screen here. Now, upon doing some digging, I was able to find the creator on Twitter, going by the handle SlippedAlt. And on their Twitter, I had found almost every single thumbnail Twilight claimed he had made. Now, the thumbnail for Sunburn was not on Slip's Twitter account. However, after speaking with them in Twitter DMs, I did get confirmation that they did make it. Along with this, he made the claim to my alt account that he had made a Killbot thumbnail. This one was stolen as well, but rather from Thunder Darkness 3. This one is even worse when you take into the account that Thunder states in the replies below that they are private works and not for free use. Now, this is quite the large accusation, but I come with a lot of evidence. Around mid-December, Twilight began telling us in calls that he had cancer. Now, this was a shock to all of us, and we felt genuinely bad for him. I personally felt it was a tad odd how often he brought up his cancer as a tool in arguments, but I wasn't going to say anything about it because that wouldn't be very nice. Fast forward a bit to the 3 shots of fireball incident. After he left the call, we were pretty annoyed with him, and some of us that were left in the call were kind of skeptical of the legitimacy of his cancer at that point. The following day, an anonymous user and I went through and started to search through Twilight's online presence, looking for proof of him lying about various things. And on there we found these. On the 13th of December, he posted this, claiming he had lung cancer. And only 2 days later, he posted this, claiming he had skin cancer. Now, after this, he doubled down that he had skin cancer, claiming he had stage 3 melanoma in his leg, and that he had been doing chemo for about 2 to 3 weeks at that point. This doesn't make very much sense, as you'd very rarely get chemo for stage 3 melanoma. In most cases, you get surgery to remove it, or an infusion to fight it back. However, he said that it wasn't an infusion, and that it was regular chemotherapy. Hair begins to fall out about 2 to 4 weeks after you begin treatment, and if you remember from earlier, he stated that he had been doing chemo for about 2 to 3 weeks, so his hair should have fallen out by now. However, he claimed to my alt account that he had long hair after a bit of conversation. Fast forward a while and we get this voice message in his server.
Messages in the server because, no one uses voice messages anymore, but I feel like everyone in the server deserves to know in their own right. So about 2 months ago, almost, I got diagnosed with stage 3 skin cancer, melanoma, and it's been the hardest 2 months of my life. And I'm not here today to bring better news. In fact, it's not good news at all. It's pretty bad. Today, I went to the hospital to get my daily checkup and dosage of chemo, and it was there today that we found out it had moved up to stage 4. I really don't know how to feel about the news yet. I'm still in shock, if you can't tell. I don't know what's going to happen now with me. I might cut back on GD and YouTube and everything just because I'm getting worse, but I'm also getting better at the same time, and I hope everyone does know. I don't want to worry everyone in this server at all. There's no need to worry anyone. So, I'm just going to tell you now. Everyone, thank you for being here for me and helping me throughout the journey. I love you all.
Stage 4 skin cancer is very serious, and frequently means a roughly 22.5% chance of survival. Fast forwarding a little bit, in a call with Twilight, me, and another user who wants to remain anonymous, he claimed he was getting Mohs surgery to help fight it back. This still doesn't make sense, as according to my research, Mohs surgery is only used for stage 0 melanoma and on sensitive areas of the body, such as the face or neck, and it wouldn't be used for your leg. To add on to this, a former member of the group, who lives in the same state as Twilight, contacted someone who had seen him IRL, and they were able to confirm that Twilight did indeed have hair, which contradicted this that Twilight had posted in his server just 2 days prior. Why Twilight feels the need to lie about this sort of thing is beyond me, but it has permanently damaged his reputation with a lot of people around him. After showing evidence to people around him, it was clear that their opinions of him had changed dramatically. I personally feel that this evidence was more than enough to prove that the cancer was not truthful. However, this is not 100% confirmed proof that he was lying about it. If I am shown adequate proof that the cancer was real, I will take this video down. I don't believe that forgiveness should be determined by things like who is or isn't deserving. We all feel and inflict pain in some way. It is inevitable. And we can choose to fight this truth in an endless battle where there are no true winners, or we can choose to make peace with it. The latter is the more difficult path of the two, but I think what you gain from it all makes it worth it in the end. However, for you, Twilight, I don't believe in this principle. Your actions have been nothing less than unforgivable. I believe that anyone can change for the better, but you have tossed away every opportunity to improve yourself that I, along with many others, have handed you, and for this reason, I am choosing to end things here and now. You took every opportunity we handed you for granted, or straight up threw it all away. I am done babying you. This will be the last time that I ever interact with you. I have a few more things to say to you, the viewer. Under no circumstances should you ever go out of your way to harass any person mentioned in this video, but more specifically Twilight. I made this video simply as a way to shed light on his actions. Thank you very much for watching through the whole thing. Goodbye.